Two women must overcome war, amnesia, and personal betrayal in order to hatch the only plan that might save their decaying world. In The Stars Are Legion. Hello everybody, Thomas here. Welcome to SFF180, and that is the book I am reviewing on this episode. Thank you all for joining me, as always. So, one part action-packed space opera, one part quest odyssey, and one part body horror. There has never been a science fiction novel quite like The Stars Are Legion. Now, some of its antecedents aren't difficult to pick out, to be sure, but Kameron Hurley has made of them something all her own. The Legion of the title is a system of world-sized organic spacecraft surrounding a dim and hazy star. The principal world ships are home to two warring families, the Katazirnas and the Bavajas, although feel free to call them the Hatfields and the McCoys if it's easier to pronounce. The worlds themselves are dying, rotting away from a kind of planetary cancer. Control of the rogue world ship of Makshi is now the focus of the ongoing war, each family convinced that it contains secrets that will save the Legion. Zan is a warrior who has returned to the Katazirna homeworld after another attempt to penetrate the Makshi's defenses robs her of her memory. Now she learns that she has some manner of relationship to a woman called Jade, either as sister or lover, and that Jade has been betrothed in a political marriage to Reseda, a ruthless Bavaja general, in exchange for a truce. But Jade and Zan have been cooking up a plan of their own to take control of the Makshi together, a plan which is rather spectacularly derailed when Reseda immediately betrays the terms of the truce, wipes out most of the remaining Katazirna clan, and casts Zan deep into the lowest levels of their world ship to be recycled with the rest of the biomass. Now, Zan finds herself undertaking a journey back upwards in the company of three new companions, some of whom are from deep-level societies Zan never knew existed, and who, in turn, are completely unaware of the two families, or of their system-wide war, or even the fact that they've been living deep inside giant organic spaceships in the first place. Jade, meanwhile, is left alone to determine how to carry out her plans, while wrestling with the uncomfortable complication that she may really be in love with her captor, Reseda. Now, it's possible some readers, hearing that this novel is a space opera with an exclusively female cast, will dive into it expecting a fun, Star Wars-y all-girl romp through the spaceways. It'll be easy to spot those readers. They'll be the ones who make it to chapter 14 and end up curled into the fetal position under half a dozen blankets. As anyone who's read The Mirror Empire or God's War knows, Kameron Hurley specializes in nasty women and a bit of the old ultraviolence. And if any space opera recently has had a more graphic and intense first 120 pages, I haven't read it. There are scenes here, particularly one involving Zan's encounter with a recycler monster, that are gory enough to make David Cronenberg sick to his stomach. But there's something about the sheer audacity of what Hurley is willing to put on the page, coupled with her skill at staging tense action, that makes it all, to me at any rate, riveting entertainment. Let's be honest, when Zan repairs her damaged fighter ship by harvesting a fresh chunk of intestine from the nearest available corpse, it's a scene that would be awesome anyway. But here, it has the added bonus of being consistent with the rules of Hurley's world building. And what a feat of world building this story is. Much of it, such as the origins of the Legion itself, remains cloaked in mystery, but we understand that those aren't the story's most important questions. The concept of biomechanics, which has been popularized over the years, is given its most complex realization here. The humans who populate the Legion are all female because they are not a species of human in which sex selection has evolved like it has for us. Women become pregnant through parthenogenesis, and if you're from my generation, you remember exactly where you first learned that word. Pregnancies occur on a cycle determined by the world ships themselves, and women are even able to swap out wombs with one another. Also, only certain wombs give birth to human children. Most give birth to whatever tool or replacement part the world might decide it needs, and rarely, some wombs can give birth to a whole new world ship. Now, there is a problem in that Zan's odyssey back to the world's surface feels overlong and too slowly paced, especially set against the book's pulse-pounding early scenes. Zan's journey of discovery, which is less about the oddities of the world around her than about who she really is, has a number of compelling moments, some of which manage to channel Zelazny's Amber stories. But it can feel like it's taking forever. Jade's story thread, by comparison, feels underutilized. There is a real tension in play in Jade's scenes with Reseda, who is a cool and charismatic villain. But the bulk of the novel's midsection is devoted to Zan, who climbs and fights off some new peril, repeat, repeat, repeat. Still, Hurley pulls everything back together for a rousing finale. The Stars Are Legion may be tough going for any number of reasons, but the road to self-discovery and the path out of darkness from war to peace is never an easy one, and Kameron Hurley has never flinched from portraying that honestly in her fiction. This book will leave a bruise or two, but it's a challenge you'll feel proud to have met. And that is all I have time for in this episode of SFF180, everybody. Remember the most important thing. These are reviews. You are not always going to agree with me, but if you enjoyed watching, please leave a like, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe if you have not done so. That is what helps SFF180 to grow as a channel. And you can also support the channel at its TeePublic store, where there are shirts and cool related merch. Alright, so until I see all of you next time, thank you for joining me, thank you for the support, and happy reading.